Good afternoon and thanks for joining us. We're bringing you team coverage this afternoon as we track the damage left behind by Zeta. We have live crews standing by in Spartanburg, Greenville, and Anderson counties. And 7 weather meteorologist Malachi Rogers is here in the studio. Let's head straight out first to 7 News' Scotty K in Spartanburg County. Scotty, what are you seeing?
Hey Fred, so we're out here on Kirby Street in Landrum where it's arguably the most storm damage from Zeta. If you'll take a look behind me, you can see a tree came crashing through the middle of this trailer out here on Kirby Street. We actually have the property manager out here working on cutting this tree up. But the resident who lives here, we interviewed her earlier. She told us that emergency management folks were out here, told her that this is one of the largest trees in Landrum. So just an absolute miracle that she, her daughter, and her husband were able to get out of the home without any serious injuries. The husband had a few scratches on his arms and legs, but no one seriously hurt. Unbelievable. We're going to take a look. I'm going to show you guys around this house. So the husband was on this side of the trailer laying on the couch. When the tree came crashing through, the wife told me she heard the gust of wind, she heard the tree cracking. Split second later came through. He had to move the debris, of course, with the roof caving in. He had to move a bunch of debris and actually crawled himself out of this window. Now follow me over here around the back. You can see where the tree was uprooted. Humongous tree here. Again, crashing through the middle of the home, right here in the living room, close to the kitchen. Again, the husband was on this side of the trailer, the wife on this side. The daughter was in her bedroom on this side. She was not hurt. She was able to get out. The wife had to, again, move debris to come out of this back door here. But I'm going to go ahead and give you guys a look at some of the damage on the inside. And if Kevin wants to take a step around me here, you can see she was actually sitting in this recliner right here. You can see that tree is right behind her, so barely missing her here, guys. She had to move all this debris out of the way to get out of the house. Just absolutely unbelievable that they were able really to survive this. Gratefully, no one is hurt. But again, if you want to see more of this story, we're going to have more, including an interview with the resident here in our later show. So be sure to tune into 7 News at 4, 5, and 6 tonight. For now, we're reporting live in Landrum. Scotty K, 7 News.
Scotty K, thank you. We continue our team coverage now in Greenville County, where we've had reports of dozens of trees down. We find 7 News' Ayla Ferrone there. Ayla.
Well, Fred, now we've moved over to Earl Street in the city of Greenville, where we found a tree down onto a house. You can see it behind me, that the roots have completely come up out of the ground, allowing this tree to fall over onto this home. I spoke briefly off camera with some of the homeowners who say someone was actually in that room where those branches are up there when the tree came down around 6:30 this morning. Luckily, they say that everyone is okay right now. They have a long road to clean up ahead of them, but they say that the safety of their family members is the most important thing. We also spoke with a city councilman who actually lives right across the road. He says he heard the tree come down this morning as well, and you can see that it actually took down the power lines along with it when it fell down. Now, that city councilman tells me that the city is working very hard to get information out to people like this who have had storm damage this morning. He also says that if you do happen to have a down tree on your house or in your vicinity like this one, the city does have a line you can call to let them know. That number is 864-232-CARES. Again, 232-CARE, and you can call that number and the city will help get someone out to help you with whatever storm damage you're dealing with as soon as possible. And of course, for us, we'll continue to cover this for you throughout the rest of the day. But for now, I'm reporting live in Greenville. Ayla Ferrone, 7 News.
Ayla, thank you. Thousands of homes are without power across the upstate because of Zeta. 7 News' Jennifer Martin shows us some of the damage in Pickens County.
The deputy director for Pickens County Emergency Management told us this morning they started getting calls right around 7 o'clock this morning, and that brought us here to Pumpkin Town. which is an area that got hit. We talked to the Pumpkin Town Fire Chief, who said they had about a dozen trees down like this one. We are here on Highway 288 and 8, just outside of the Pumpkin Town Store and Cafe. This tree fell on a power line, and as our crews were standing nearby this morning, we saw another tree fall on the same power line. We talked to a man who was trapped behind the tree on his way to work. He said this is typical of this area.
Once the ground gets that saturated and the wind gets that high, it's just going to let them lean right over. There goes one right there. Y'all watch out, power lines.
Okay, let's get back. Trees falling on power lines like the one behind us. That's why emergency management says it's so important to take caution when you're driving during a storm like the one we had this morning, and also even after a storm. In Pumpkin Town, Jennifer Martin, 7 News.